Oh, Alex Hormozi did it again. Okay, he broke the Guinness World Record for being the fastest selling nonfiction book within 24 hours. And I think he's gone up the chart in the fiction section of fastest selling books, beating the likes of Harry Potter and other epic books as well. But he's done it again, ladies and gentlemen. He's blown everyone's mind. He's I think it was like something 3.6 million copies within the first 48 hours of launching the book. And he's done it in a way of just creating so much value in the market that it's just, again, it just blows everyone's mind, right? And I think there's a lot to learn from that. Okay, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down three main things that I learned that I think can benefit you as an entrepreneur, as someone that is in the info space, and someone that loves to make money. Okay, and but by the way, initially I had like this whole flow chart, this whole very detailed flow chart of all the little tactics, right? All the hooks, all the ads he's using, email campaigns, the entire affiliate playbook, and it was very detailed. However, I feel like this is a little bit more important. And if you guys do want to see something like that where it's a lot more detailed and it goes very specific into the tactics, then let me know and I'll make that video as well. But three things that I learned from Alex Hormozi's book launch, just by being a part of it, by sitting down, actually taking the time and studying him and studying exactly what he's doing and why he's doing it, right? But I think the main thing that I learned from this entire book launch was just how much goodwill Alex Hormozi is building or has built within the market, right? And this is part of his brand by now, right? Which is my point exactly. He's known as the guy that just gives and never really sells, or at least that's what it feels like, right? And the one time that he does sell, he just knocks it out of the park, right? He just breaks records. He just he just doo-doos on everybody, right? And I think that's the first thing that I personally learned from it was just give. And then when you've given enough, give even more, right? And I think this one specifically hits home for me because it really changes your perspective. And this is a perspective shift that I've made in the last few months, not specifically with this event, but to tell you guys a little bit about myself, I come from a sales background, right? And I've been doing business for a long time, not just in sales, but in other areas as well. And I'm just now starting this YouTube channel, which brings me, and you'll see where this is going here in just a minute, but I'm just now starting this YouTube channel to build a brand for myself and for my company and for what I do for people like you. Okay, and I think this perspective shift is very, very powerful because I used to have the paradigm of being very self-oriented, very selfish, right? I was very selfish about the decisions I made. I was very selfish about the strategies I used to win, right? And initially you can make the argument that in the beginning, it's necessary to be selfish, right? You need to be selfish with time. You need to be selfish with where your focus goes, and you need to be selfish with where your resources go as an entrepreneur, especially in the beginning phases, right? But I felt like I was making a lot of wrong decisions, and I was operating from the paradigm of this is just about me, right? And the shift that I made that was very, very powerful for myself, and I believe if you haven't already done it is that can be powerful for you is changing from this is about me and what this business is about me and what it can do for me, compared to this business is for us, right? This is for what it can do for my family. This is what I can do for other people. This is for the mouths that I can feed, right? So making that perspective shift of this is about more than just me is what has led me to make better decisions as an entrepreneur, as a human being, and just as a family oriented man, because growing up, I've always been very close to my family. And yeah, that perspective shift has been huge. It's obviously led me to build this YouTube channel, right? And now it's my mission to just do good to do good in the world, most importantly, but also do good in the market, right? So I like I mentioned, I have a background in sales. I did door-to-door sales, selling solar. The bulk of my experience has been in high ticket sales with info products, and I've worked with and have been a part of very, very high level organizations that you probably know that I'm not going to mention just out of their discretion. But I've learned a lot just being in the trenches for those type of companies, right? And I know the ins and outs of these high ticket information based companies, right? Whether it be coaching, whether it be services, whether it be whatever it may be, whether it be courses, whether it be just information, right? And for me specifically, going back to what I was talking about, making that perspective shift has been a game changer, right? It's changed my decision-making process. And I believe if you go out there with the intention of just giving more, you'll probably do a little bit better, right? Obviously, Alex Hormozi stands as the proof for that. Right. And I think that's very, very important. The second thing that I learned from Alex Hormozi's book launch that I believe you can actually extract a lot of value from is having exceptionally high standards, right? Because as I mentioned, I've been a part of a lot of organizations within this space, and having high standards, not only as an individual, as an operator, but as a business is very rare. That is a commodity that is actually very rare, believe it or not. And it's just refreshing to see someone with exceptionally high standards, because that's the lifeblood of entrepreneurship. And having exceptionally high standards is a foundation for all of that, right? Especially in today's day and age where you have the potential to do so much, especially with AI, right? With information being as available as it is right now, and AI being as easy to use as it is right now, everything is as easy as it could be. I believe that right now we live in an age where it is the easiest time in history to make a lot of money and do good in the world. But on the flip side of that, it's also the easiest time in the world to get distracted, to let your standards dilute themselves because of all the different things that's sucking on our attention, that's fiending for our attention. And so there's this dichotomy of, yes, it's the easiest time in history to basically just do what you want to do and make up a ton of money from it. Not to cuss there, but it's the easiest time in the world in history to do that. But it's also the easiest time to get distracted and kind of just putter along and never really do anything with that potential. Like, you might make a few money, like you might make a little bit of money, but you can't make FU money, right? You can't go on stage and break Guinness World Records like Hormozi is doing right now. And so having those exceptionally high standards, I believe, is what really drives a business forward. If that wasn't obvious to you, oh, crazy, right? Having high standards leads to success. Who would have thought, right? But you'd be surprised how rare it actually is. And seeing Alex go on stage, run through his presentation, and do that, not just for one day, by the way, but for 3 days in a row, and break a Guinness World Record, sell 3.6 million copies within the first 48 hours. I mean, he demonstrated his high standards. Like I was there the whole time. I was watching him, and he was demonstrating those high standards with basically a live stream, right? And so yeah, raise your standards, dude. Okay. And the third thing, which I believe is the most important lesson here, is something called Lollapalooza effects, which is a term that was initially coined by Charlie Munger. I actually read it from one of his. I don't know if I don't think it was written. It was, I think, it was a biography about Charlie Munger, which is Warren Buffett's secondhand man. Basically, what a Lollapalooza effect is a combination of little things that build up, and as a collective result in big as results. I'll give you an example. An example of a Lollapalooza effect is Alex Hormozi's event. Just to go back to that example, right? He broke a Guinness World Record. Like, people don't just do that every day, right? He sold $3.6 million in copy. You can do the math there by how much money he made, and he actually did a lot of good. On top of that, right? He donated all those books to entrepreneurs, whatever the mission is. Anyways, the point is, an example of a Lollapalooza effect is that event, right? There's a big ass result from that event. And one can say that it wasn't just the fact that he's Alex Hormozi that made that event pop off. Like, yeah, sure, it helps. Like, he already has goodwill in the market. But that's one little thing that adds into that, is his own brand, his own personal brand that went into that, right? And then you can say, well, he's Alex Hormozi, right? But if he would have just gone on there and completely fluffed his presentation, or had a terrible offer, then it wouldn't have mattered then it wouldn't have mattered if freaking Jeff Bezos was up there presenting. It would have fluffed, right? And so it's the combination of not just him, his personal brand, but his team behind the scenes, right? You hear him talk about team all the time, and he probably had a lot of people running around behind the scenes that were doing a lot of really good work. And I bet that he has a kick-ass team behind him, right? So it's him, his team, right? The YouTube algorithm, all of the attention that he building up to that event, right? All of the ads he ran, all of the posts that he created, the memes that he created, right? The virality that he had with his marketing in the front end leading up to that event. Obviously, his whole thing is volume. And he definitely pulled on that lever of volume, right? And so it's the combination of all of these high leverage things that add up to a big as a result. It's not just one, right? It's not just the fact that he probably spent a lot of money in ads. It's probably not just the fact that he created this viral meme on social media about the green men that led to this big as result. It's the combination of all of these high levers within the entire scope of the event that led to that big as a result, right? That is a Lollapalooza effect. And I think the main thing to take away from here is understanding, like, let's say, for example, if you wanted to run an event, or within your business, even just, let's just keep it simple. So let's just say running your business. Let's let's say the goal is to make as much money as possible, right? That's the big as result. Well, if we reverse engineer that and we look at it from the lens, if we look at it from the mental model of Lollapalooza effects, then all you would have to do is understand all of the biggest levers within your business and pull on every single lever one by one and do it in succession, right? Do it like in a sequential order. And then you get Lollapalooza. You get exponential returns. That is the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the point of business, is understanding, is first of all, identifying those high leverage activities and just focusing all of your attention on that. But here's the thing. Here's the main key takeaway. It's not just focusing on that one key lever, right? A lot of people, they think, oh, if I just get attention, if I just build a personal brand, I'm gonna have this massive business that's just printing cash. But that's just not the case. You don't just need attention. You don't just need trust within the market. You need eyeballs, right? You need a conversion system that converts those eyeballs into interest. And then you need to convert that interest into desire. And then you want to convert that desire into money, right? And then even from there, that's just the beginning of it, right? There's other aspects of the business, like product. That is high leverage, right? Having a kick-ass product that delivers on its results. And actually, let me rephrase that. Having a kick-ass product that over-delivers on its results. That is high leverage, right? Retention of your customers, if you have a continuity thing, or just over delivering on those customers, right? Attracting A-level talent. All these are high leverage things within the business. And the main point I want to drive here is it's not about your offer, dude. Like, yes, focus on the offer. That is a high leverage thing. Make it a damn good offer. Make it an offer so good if people feel dumb saying no. But you also want to focus on all of the other high leverage things in the business, because you need to get all of them right. You need to master all of them in order to get Lollapalooza effects. And if the goal is to make as much money as possible and just build this nasty cash flowing machine, then I've found that it helps to look at it from Lollapalooza effects. And obviously, when you break a Guinness World Record like Alex Hormozi did, it only makes sense to pay attention, right? But hopefully you guys found this valuable. I gotta hop here. I'll see you in the next one.